Hey y'all, I wanted to talk about something that's been really on my mind, and I didn't realize how much like this um moment that took place had like an effect on me, because sometimes I feel like every time something like traumatic happens, like I pretty much, romanticize it, so the damage isn't that bad, you know. Um, so basically, um, so basically, so I'm gonna say a name. So if you stay in Chicago, and if you see this man, please, 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 I ask of you to steer clear of him. Take it from me, because yeah. So his name is Demetrius Radcliff. I'm not sure how tall he is. I think he's like a regular, like 6 feet, and he wears glasses, and I think he's on a lighter complexion. He has a light complexion. He wears do rags with a hat, you know, and yeah. I don't know where he works, but I know he works probably as like a security or something like that. I think he does something like that. Um, and he stays like not too far from me, so it's kind of even more having me like, kind of scared, in a sense. Um, but yeah, this man that I've named has sexually assaulted me. Um, basically, the background is that I knew him for quite a while. Fuck it. I knew him for quite a while. I met him, I think, last year, and we had a huge fallout the first time. And this year, I didn't really expect to, like, run into him again. And because of me, because I'm not the person to like necessarily really hold grudges until they really do some fucked up shit, which is, damn, like I hate that part about me. So we went to his place, what I'm saying? Of course, we caught up, we did some shit like that. But this was like days before. Okay. This was days before like the sexual assault happened, right? Um Let me try to remember, because it's so like it's so like I hate that I hate that I feel so much shame and like guilt than like the person than the person that actually did it, right? So this isn't somebody that I just met and stuff like this. Is somebody that I pretty much know. Like, I've been in his house and things like that. And I guess, of course, the first time I met him, I was drunk. You know what I'm saying? I was, like, oh, okay, um, you know what I'm saying, drunk and stuff. And then, we do some heavy petting, you know, again. And then that time, I think, I'm trying to see, I left that day. And that was when I thought that, things were going good, because you would be in constant communication, and you were seeing each other a lot more than last year, because, I think we were talking for about 2 or 3 months. I feel like we were talking about 2 or 3 months. Um, yeah, so that, what was it? It was this, God, I hate it because, I hate this because, like, my mind has been, my whole mind has been trying so hard to, like, just forget about the whole incident, so sorry if my memory is kind of foggy, but that doesn't discredit the whole thing. It's just, oh my god. I'm even shaking right now. I think somebody's coming in, I'm sorry, but let me close this door. So, yeah, we've been seeing each other a lot more than often, and I would notice that every time that I was getting ready to leave, he would beg me to not go, and, as a person like me, I didn't, I didn't leave, but I didn't really see it as, I didn't really see, um, I didn't really see it as bad until, like, I pretty much noticed the pattern, right? And I also stopped drinking within that week, right? I also stopped drinking within that week. So up until that time, I'm telling you what led to it. So up until that time, basically, okay, I guess like the first strike was that his cousin would come over and they would hang in the backyard and smoke weed or whatnot. And mind you, I stopped drinking the week before. Mind you, I stopped drinking the week before I ran into him. Well, no, but mind you, I stopped drinking the night after I ran into him. Right. So now that that time that I was sober, I now, finally kind of started to see, the pattern, but I didn't think it was that bad. So what I thought last year was just, weekend drinking just to, take the edge off. It was it was more so the frequency. It wasn't just a few beers. It was like almost a whole thing of 1800 reposado and like a 6-pack. And then on top of that, some vodka. And then, weed on top of that. And I didn't think much of it until, like, basically, like, he was constantly, like, trying to pressure me to drink and to, like, smoke some more than what my limits are, right? Until, like, his cousin was like, hey, bro, like, chill, like, she's good. She doesn't want to drink or she don't want to smoke no more. That type of thing. And I noticed that he would, like, because the first time that I met him, I felt like it was me that was tripping, and that's how they always get you, to always make you feel like, you was always in the wrong, but I look back and I know my temperament and I know how I, carry myself around people. Like, I'm not, my thing is I only speak when spoken to, so I don't, go out my way to talk to people unless they talk to me. So, basically from our fallout from last year was because was because he would basically like turn it around on me as if I'm the one that's starting things, right? And just looking for something or looking for an out to leave him or whatnot. And I'm like, that wasn't entirely true, because how can I start things with anyone if I don't talk to anybody, right? If I don't even talk to him, unless he says something interesting, you know, more than anything interesting that doesn't involve always him making his own self mad, and always ruminating about the people who done him wrong and crossed him and stuff like that, right? So yeah, mind you, I was not drinking during that time. After that time that we started speaking, I noticed that he would, when he was like fucking like sauce, he would keep trying to have basically like conversations that you and your partner or whoever, conversations that you should have, one on one in private in front of other people. And then constantly, just basically constantly needing like reassurance from me. And I noticed how drained that I was, how exhausting it was to be around him, you know. But because of the way that I've been conditioned, I kind of like, it felt so familiar to me. It felt so familiar to me, and and I was, and I'm always carrying this shame, this guilt that like, said that 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 what I'm seeing is not what I'm seeing, and what I'm experiencing is not what I'm experiencing, and everything that I'm, everything that is in front of me and that is happening to me is a lie, right? So I always, pretty much doubt myself in that sense, to where it's like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe, saying I'm not, as smart or whatever that is, right? So he constantly wanted reassurance from me and stuff like that. Every time he was sauced, and he would always like keep asking me, can he give me oral and stuff like that, and just constantly just keep like, asking me and shit like that. And I said no, because no, because like you're sauced. You know what I'm saying? I don't want. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it that the first time, because the first time I gave in and was just like, okay, cool. But the next time I just didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like that. I didn't think that it was gonna be a constant thing. I just thought that's how he was feeling, and he was feeling himself and whatnot. Cool. But he would constantly, ask me, can he do oral on me and stuff like that. And so during like a conversation where I was trying to like calm him down, as the day goes on, his cousin, I think his cousin left, after his cousin left, I was trying to calm him down, you know what I'm saying? Because this is where the cycle is. He provokes like a conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then pretty much switches it around on me, you know what I'm saying? So I can look like I have an egg on my face, you know what I'm saying? It's like he's like picking, you know what I'm saying? He's basically was picking my brain, and every time like I pretty much, surpass that, or you know what I'm saying, in a sense, then it will be like, a turnaround, like a whole nother thing. as, to make it seem like as if I, didn't, as if I wasn't right, about whatever it was that he was trying to, like, I don't know how to explain it, but he was saying he was constantly like picking my brain, and every time I pretty much like won this game and shit, that he put me in, he'll throw something else in there, and then in hopes and proves that, that it will show that I'm not as smart or as intelligent and stuff because he says that I'm not, right? So during that conversation, because he decided that he wanted to get heated and stuff like that, me trying to calm him down, I'm in the kitchen, and he basically like pushed me against the kitchen wall. This was when he was drunk, but drunk or not, I knew that that wasn't the right thing to do, but I tried to leave. Kept begging me to stay and kept guilt tripping me to stay and shit like that. So I stayed. Um, later on that night, and that was one of the reasons why I also wanted to leave too, because I didn't like sleeping next to him. Because there are those times he just didn't understand, like, I hate when people think that it's because you're laying in the same bed as them that, that you have the right to constantly, like, touch them. And that's what he was doing to me. And I was trying to sleep, and, he just constantly kept touching me. And, like, basically, because he flipped me over, like, basically like that, like, he opened my legs, you know what I'm saying? But for me, like, I just froze, right? I feel like I just froze, and then I just gave in, because it's like, I didn't want to leave so late at night. I don't know how to explain it, but, you know what I'm saying? He basically, like, he was basically playing with me, right? And then, without any warning, or whatsoever, he like climbed on top of me. He climbed on top of me and was about to put his dick in me. He was about to do that. And then, my knee-jerk reaction, I pushed him off of me, and he was talking about something, I'm glad you did that. And I'm like, why would you do that? But a few hours prior, before we went to bed, we were having a fight. It was a fight because basically, I went through his phone, and I pretty much, saw that he was like, talking to other people and whatnot after him just saying that he wanted me to give him another chance and whatnot. And that was basically the reason I was there for, because I was trying to give him another chance. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because he did make me feel like I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? That I was really like misjudging him, because he said, oh well, my friends and my family don't think that way about me, and you the only one that says this shit about me, and blah, blah, blah. But what kind of gets me is though, it's like, it's way different when somebody is romantically involved with you, and it's different because they might have different, they might not know, better about, like, standards and, like, consent and stuff like that. So they might not know, what makes, a good person, overall on a spectrum. You know what I'm saying? They might think that as long as they bring money and pay the bills, he's good. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the levels of good and what makes, a good person a good person. But overall, this man, Demetrius Radcliff, without any warning, without even telling me, basically hopped on me. And I'm pretty sure, though, I'm pretty sure he was no longer drunk because it was 4 in the morning, and I was, like, constantly trying to leave, but, just being guilt tripped and stuff like that, and also drained because, just talking to him was draining. I was so drained. I was so tired. You know what I'm saying? Out of my mind. Like, I couldn't even think straight. And I feel like that's where he wanted me. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I hope he dies. Honestly, I hope this man dies. Because it's not the fact that, like, even though, like, bro, like, even though, like, it was, like, an attempt to do it, it's the fact that I didn't think that, it would get this bad. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it would get this bad. But it's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like a moment of when you stop, when you pretty much, cut off substances and things like that, you start to realize, like, you know what I'm saying? I know people think, the people that I tell that I'm, like, on a sober journey don't think that I have a problem because I'm able to, like, go a month and whatnot, and it's like, it's not that, it's just that, one, I don't see a use for alcohol anymore, and then two, like, I just feel like if I'm really, like, always smoking and drinking with people, I'm not gonna really see who they really is, who they really are, and I'm not gonna see who I really am. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I started to see, and that's what, you know what I'm saying, that's what, made me see that, you know what I'm saying, this man had a problem beyond me, before me, and you know what I'm saying, and that I wasn't tripping at all, and that I didn't really need to see anymore before that shit, sounded off. But to always just constantly turn it around on me, and mind you, like, I didn't really recognize how drained I was, just being around that person until I stopped drinking. Because when you always, like, inebriated and stuff, you know, you're not gonna always, consider yourself, you're not gonna really always consider yourself as That's the voice of reason. But when you cut off a substance, they can't hold that against you. And that's what he tried to do to me. To always make it seem like, I'm imagining things and stuff like that, but I'm not. And it's like, yeah, things started off. It was basically like, the more that I pretty much stayed around, the more that I started to see things get worse, and that I realized that I necessarily wasn't the problem. The only problem that I had was not seeing, the first sign and taking that taking that as my, as my way out. But I cared so much about, what he thought about me, because I'm so used to people telling me, that I may be thinking things wrong and stuff like that. But I hope that man dies, and like, and you know what I'm saying, like, I feel like I'm doing this because, like, I don't ever want to go out of this life. I don't ever want to leave this earth having, people think that these same people that, assaulted me and things like that, done the most wildest, like, nastiest shit to me. I don't want them to ever tell my story for me. I don't ever want them to, like, speak for me. I don't want my enemies to speak for me, because the proof is here. I'm gonna tell you that, saying I'm not cool with these niggas. I'm not, I don't fuck with these people. Because when you're dead and you're not, you don't get to tell your story, that's what happens, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to go out having them tell people that we was friends, and then tell the story that makes them feel better in the end. No, I'm going to expose you. And I'm going to say this to get this off my chest, you know what I'm saying? Because I shouldn't be carrying this. You know what I'm saying? This is not my, burden to carry. But it did teach me about the reasons why I need to continue being sober. Why I need to, like, saying, just keep seeing people through until they show you, until they keep showing you, that they're worth it or not, and not to invest too quickly. And, you know what I'm saying, to not, even, my thing is like, even if I do live in a hood, right, but if you know deep down in your soul that you not, that in some type of way that this type of thing is, like, kind of beneath you, it just don't even try to, like, don't even try to, like, give it a chance, because sometimes it's gonna, what I'm saying, these same people are just gonna end up resenting you and showing you in every way that they resent you, because you're not like them. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel like, it really does make me feel like, you know what I'm saying, like, because I notice, like I said, it's a pattern that they do these things because they also want to keep you stagnated, mentally stagnant. They want to, saying they also, I feel like they probably also fear you finding someone that loves you, someone that cares about you, people that give a fuck about you. They want to keep you in this dark cloud over your head. Keep this dark cast over you so you don't see what's on the other side, But please, ladies of Chicago, stay away from this man. And he's an alcoholic. Clearly he's an alcoholic. And he's going to drain you. He's always going to try to, compete with you intellectually. He's always going to try to, pick your brain. And he's going to try to embarrass you in front of his friends or, his company. He's really insecure. And then when you have nothing left to give, or when you're, angry or, cranky from, basically being drained and not being, not having life poured back into you, he's going to blame you for it. He's going to talk about the type of woman that he wants and what he would want his, his love life to be. But he is the living antithesis of everything that he wants. He talks a big game, he talks a big game about everything. But he will always try to get you to do the work. A woman. So, please stay away from Demetrius Radcliff. Like I said, he is light skin complexion. He's in the Auburn Gresham area. He wears glasses. He wears a hat and a do-rag, and sometimes he wears a striped shirt, and I think he works somewhere downtown. Don't know. But please stay away from him. And please stay away from him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just honestly glad that, sooner than later, I'd rather it be, a week of, giving him a second chance than, a year to 5 years to 10 years. And honestly, I need to honestly, I don't feel like I need to go back to the drawing board because I don't want to see this as, as a barrier or as an obstacle, because I shouldn't feel because I don't want to feel I don't want to honestly feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't want to see this as an obstacle because I don't want to internalize it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to internalize that. I don't want it to be an obstacle at all. It's such a tricky situation. But I don't want these people telling my story for me if anything was to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I refuse. So this will be my documentary here. But I honestly feel so much better. But I still feel like I have a lot of releasing to do because I'm tired of, just people like these type of people just being able to carry on with their lives. And damn well, like, people that do shit like that, you know what I'm saying? They, when it's like the next victim, you know what I'm saying? They already know what not to do because, you know what I'm saying? Because you revealed it to them, right? No, no, it's not gonna be like that. Even if it don't make, even if it don't, even if it don't make it anywhere, it's like I did something. I got it off my chest, and and I did my best, because I don't do Facebook, I don't do all this other things, but sometimes, I guess justice is, sometimes I feel like, justice is just how, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I don't even want it. I just want to feel like that I'm not carrying, like I'm not carrying the weight of the victim and of the person that sexually assaulted me, you know what I'm saying? It's a fucked up type of system. The system is fucked up when the victim feels more shame and guilt than the actual person that did it, you know? But, sometimes, I just really learned that you can't really give people like a second chance sometimes. It just really made me feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of times, I think he was just trying to see what he could get away with. And I felt like during that process, I was being like groomed again into like, into accepting abuse, physical, almost physical, and almost sexual, and almost, and very damn near mental and emotional abuse. Yeah, you can't really see it if you're, smoking and drinking with them all the time. But I stopped that after seeing him again for the first time. So, I've seen it. But it all kind of clicked, you know, it kind of all clicked the day after the morning of the day that he assaulted me, that he physically and sexually assaulted me. And I'm like, I don't know. And it's like usually when things like that happen to me, I just, I just put it in the back of my mind. But, I'm so tired of putting that shit in the back of my mind. And, it's like, bro, I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe again. Like, why? I don't want to hold this shit in no more because I don't deserve that. It's not my fault. Thank y'all. I'm about to go.